Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. We're tackling a story today that, honestly, it just hits different. It's one of those headlines that you read and it just sinks into your gut because you understand the ripple effect it's going to have.
Absolutely, Luna. And when we talk about ripple effects, we're talking about an entire community, a legacy that spans generations, and the very real lives of hundreds of families. The news coming out of Alton, Illinois, specifically about Alton Steel, it's just devastating.
Devastating is the right word. For nearly 25 years, Alton Steel has been a cornerstone. We're talking about furnaces burning, sparks flying, the kind of gritty, hard work that built the Midwest. It wasn't just a plant. It was a symbol of pride, of muscle, of what American industry could still do.
Exactly. And for those of us who appreciate the history of industrial towns, Alton has a deep, deep connection to steelmaking. This wasn't some new upstart. Many of the workers, in fact, helped bring steelmaking back to Alton in 2003, carrying on from the old Laclede steel legacy. So it's a story steeped in heritage.
And now, that heartbeat, as you put it, is about to stop. Scott Hall, president of United Steelworkers Local 3643, got the call every labor leader dreads. By the end of this month, those union jobs at Alton Steel, gone, just like that. Nearly 25 years of steel production coming to a halt.
It's an abrupt end, or at least a pause, to a really significant chapter. The question everyone is asking, of course, is what happened? And the answers, while complex, point to some very familiar challenges facing traditional manufacturing in America today.
Right. According to Hall, the immediate trigger is that ownership is in default with the bank. That's a huge financial squeeze. They're trying to avoid bankruptcy, which tells you they're really at the precipice. But the clock is ticking, and we might get more answers by January 2026. So this story truly isn't over yet in terms of its full financial unraveling.
A default with the bank, that's a serious red flag. But the company's own statement, which was understandably emotional, points to other, systemic issues. They talked about aging equipment, fierce global competition, and the industry rapidly consolidating into the hands of these massive corporations. It's a tough world out there for smaller, privately held steel producers.
When you read about aging equipment, it just makes you think about the investment needed to stay competitive. These huge corporations, they can pour billions into shiny, newer facilities, cutting-edge tech. For a company like Alton Steel, that kind of capital might just not be accessible.
Precisely. The steel industry is incredibly capital intensive. To modernize, to upgrade to the latest, most efficient production methods, it requires colossal investment. If you're a privately held company without the deep pockets of a multinational, keeping pace becomes an existential challenge.
It's a race they just couldn't win. In a steel world that's gotten bigger, faster, and as they put it, more cutthroat. But let's be real, Omar. This isn't just about market forces and balance sheets. This is about 253 employees.
253 employees, plus contractors, plus vendors. Think about that number. These aren't just statistics, these are people. Their routines, their mortgages, their kids' college funds, their retirement plans, all of it just got flipped upside down overnight.
It's a gut punch. These are skilled workers, many of whom dedicated their entire careers, some even following in their parents' footsteps. They were the ones who brought steelmaking back to Alton in 2003, after the Laclede steel era. They carried that torch.
And the fact that so many were former Laclede employees, that adds another layer of poignancy. It means they've seen this before. They've lived through an industrial closure, and now they're facing it again. That kind of repeated uncertainty, it's incredibly tough on the human spirit.
Yeah, it's not just a job loss, it's a loss of identity for many. When your entire professional life, and sometimes your family history, is tied to a place, a craft, a company, losing that is profound. It's not just a paycheck, it's who you are.
Absolutely. It's a sense of purpose, a community within the workplace. The camaraderie on a plant floor like that, it's irreplaceable. You spend more waking hours with these people than with your own family sometimes. That bond is something a job fair flyer can't replace.
The company did say in their emotional statement that they'll work with state workforce agencies and other manufacturers, including U.S. Steel, to help workers land on their feet. And there's one small sigh of relief. Employee 401k accounts remain secure and accessible. So, at least that's something.
It is something, and it speaks to at least an attempt to mitigate some of the immediate financial fallout. But landing on their feet means a whole lot more than just finding another job. It means finding a job that utilizes their specific, highly specialized skills, ideally in the same geographic area.
Right. You don't just replace 25 years of making special bar quality steel with just any job. These aren't entry-level positions. These are skilled trades, requiring years of experience and dedication. SBQ steel, by the way, for those who don't know, is the high-grade stuff that goes into critical components across industries: automotive, agriculture, heavy equipment. It's precision work.
And Alton Steel marketed itself not just on that high-quality product, but also on competitive pricing and old-school customer service. That formula, for a long time, it really worked for them. They carved out a niche in a very demanding market.
Until it didn't. And that's the heartbreaking part, isn't it? That a company doing all the right things, producing high-quality material, serving its customers well, can still be blindsided by these larger economic forces.
It's a stark reminder of the globalized economy we operate in. Even with a niche product like SBQ Steel, the pressures from larger, more vertically integrated competitors, coupled with the need for constant modernization, can just be too much for smaller players.
So, the big question hanging over Alton now, and honestly over the broader American industrial landscape, is this. Is this truly the end of steelmaking at this site, or is it just the end of this particular chapter?
That's the million-dollar question, Luna. With talk of avoiding bankruptcy and more news on the horizon for January 2026, there's always the possibility of a twist. Could new ownership come in? Could there be a restructuring that allows for some form of operation to resume, even if it's smaller?
One can only hope, for the sake of those families and for the community's morale. Because, let's be clear, this isn't just a business headline. This isn't just a blip on the financial news. This is a community story.
It's absolutely a community story. It's a labor story, highlighting the ongoing challenges faced by union workers in an evolving industrial landscape. And it's a legacy story, about the ebb and flow of industries that define towns and regions.
It truly is. It's about grit, resilience, and sometimes the harsh reality that even the strongest foundations can face existential threats. You know, you drive through these towns and you see the plants, and you understand they're not just buildings. They're the heart of everything.
Exactly. They're the literal and metaphorical engines of these communities. And when an engine stops, the whole town feels the tremor. From the local diner to the small businesses that relied on those paychecks flowing into the economy, everyone feels it.
So as we watch this unfold and wait for more news from Alton Steel, it serves as a powerful reminder of the human cost behind economic shifts. We'll be keeping a close eye on this story, hoping for any silver lining for the workers and the community.
Indeed, because as the company itself put it, this decision is incredibly painful. And that pain is going to resonate deeply across the river bend. It's a tough pill to swallow, but a story that truly needed to be told and understood beyond the headlines.
Couldn't agree more. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll keep you updated as this story, still in its molten hot middle, continues to develop. Take care, everyone.
Thanks for joining us, and remember to keep these communities in your thoughts. We'll talk soon.